Curious what this looks like.
I'm sure we've all been. Curious what this looks like.
Hey, this is way better. What do you guys think? I am connected to my EOS M50 camera. I wonder what's better. Let's see. Probably want to include this bad boy too, actually. How do I share? Share screen. Application window. Lo-fi music. I can't actually do it. Oh, I see. Huh. This is cool. If no one's gonna watch me, I'm just gonna do my thing. The quality is definitely a lot better, which I do appreciate. Hey man, what's up? Is this camera better? I can't even tell. Like, let me know if this one's better or this one. Let's see. I have no idea. I'm gonna be looking at it on YouTube too. I think the other one's better, right? Well, if I use this one, it's really bright, so maybe I'll. Is this one better or this one better? I think this one's probably better. First one looks better, yeah. I'm just testing this out because I finally was able to plug into my actual camera, which is pretty cool. So it's a little brown or like has like a tint to it, but I think it's not the worst. Thank you. Cool. So yeah, I mean, I want to get my live stream game up a little bit so it could kind of be more quality. So let's get that going. I wonder if I could share some music as well. I think one thing I'm definitely gonna do in the long run is probably use OBS Streamlabs. From what I've been told, it's a little bit better to control. So long term wise, I probably am gonna do that one. Awesome. But yeah, hey, what's up? Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for giving me the feedback. I really appreciate it. But happy Wednesday, everyone. We're almost at the end of the week. What's up, Jose? Nice to meet you. First one looks better. Thank you. 나요. It's Lisp used at all besides AutoCAD users? Honestly, I have no idea. That's a great question. What is Lisp used great for? Here, let's see. Lisp is the Chuck Norris of programming languages. Lisp is the bar other languages are measured in. Against knowing Lisp demonstrates developer. This must be a troll. I've heard of 3 weaknesses. I'm gonna turn off the music. Sorry, everyone. Yeah, I don't know, Jose. That's a great question. I'm not I'm not familiar with Lisp as much, but it's definitely worth looking into. Actually, I don't know about that. Maybe it's not worth looking into. Depends on what you're trying to do, I guess. I used AutoCAD and I didn't actually use Lisp, so maybe. Would that be your first coding language or just something that they're just offering for free? Because that could be fun to learn, but I don't know if it has any long-term benefits. What made me pick front end over back end? Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's just more preference. For me, it was I don't know. I just didn't like doing SQL as much. So, and I really like doing front end work with HTML, CSS, and writing like scalable CSS and whatnot. So, it was just something that I personally enjoyed doing. Doing like database querying and whatnot, it wasn't like my favorite thing to do, even though I can do it. And in terms of solving very complicated things, I enjoy doing front end complicated work than back end complicated work. And as a senior developer, you're going to have to do some type of complicated work, either in the front end or back end. And it was just more of a personal choice. And I enjoy it very much. My face is here. Maybe DGNT will give me a lesson on Streamlabs one day. Because I would like to play music and also do some web browsing at the same time. But the way that this platform is set up on StreamYards, it can only do one or the other, which is not great, in my opinion. Yeah, I think I will. Once you find a job, I don't want to take your time, I'm actually, I don't know if you guys heard about this coding boot camp, but I've been researching it a lot lately. It's called New Camp. Very curious about this. So I've been researching this a lot lately, and I might make a video on it. Apparently, it's supposed to be the most affordable coding bootcamp that exists, and I think the max you pay. Where is it? Let us see. Sometimes it's just crazy how they like bombard you with all these text when you're just trying to find what you're. So full stack mobile development, 376 times 5. So what is that? Mm, yeah, 1880 for the coding bootcamp. I think this one's interesting. I've already done a little bit of research on it, and it's one of those kind of coding boot camps that's a little more it's more of a self-paced coding boot camp. No, thank you. But there's a little bit more structure behind it, so it's an interesting one. I'm very curious about it. Does anyone have any questions today? Then you could just watch me ASMR eat these I think if I change my channel to a candy review channel, I might hit 10K subs a lot faster. So maybe I should do that. How do you like your new? I love my new job. It's really fast paced, but I enjoy it, and I'm in a somewhat of a new team within Amazon, so that's been a pretty good learning experience. I'm still trying to get used to all the like infrastructure and the pipelines. That's kind of like internal to Amazon, but I feel that I'm contributing pretty well and pretty quickly. I'm about a month, and this is gonna be my. Now I'm hitting past a month, so a month, and this is gonna be the end of my first week. So I'm working on a project, and it's really fun, and got some really great teammates. Yeah, I can't complain. They've been very helpful and very good about knowledge sharing. So I need to stop saying but yeah, a lot of knowledge sharing, and I've been getting information really quickly. So, but everyone works at a very fast pace. Everyone's super smart, which is good, and yeah, it's a good combination. It's good to be around people that are smart and nice at the same time. And I don't know. I've just been around a lot of developers where it's either one or the other, and it's difficult. So, what's the best JavaScript tutorial for web development? Oh, that's a great question. I don't know what the best is, but there are some good ones that do exist. I mean, you could do Codecademy. I'm sure there's a free code camp. In terms of JavaScript specifically, I wish, you know what? I'm going to get back to you on this one, and let me probably make a video. It's definitely not going to be something I make because I haven't made anything like that. But yeah, I think that's a great question. Let me save it. And honestly, like the best JavaScript tutorial, there's so many. It's really hard to. I'm sure every one has their unique strengths, and there's a lot of free ones on YouTube. So I recommend it just to look around. Hello. What are 5 easy JavaScript projects for beginners? Something that we can use later for your portfolio. The thing is, if the project is easy, you probably don't want to showcase it on your portfolio. These easy projects aren't necessarily some projects that you're using to showcase, like, this is my big project that I made. These JavaScript projects are more along the lines of making sure you understand your fundamentals and just getting your feet wet on how to write code. But ideally, if you're trying to become a software engineer and like specifically like a web developer, you need to have bigger projects. Like showing these little small, like, I don't want to call them kid projects, but they're kind of somewhat throwaway projects. and they're not something that you probably want to showcase as your first or second project. You want to do these smaller projects to build up into a larger project that you eventually want to showcase. Are you going? No, I'm actually, the office is in New York, so, and I live in New York, and yeah, there's no real location issues from that point of view. You know what? I'm gonna put on some music for y'all so it doesn't sound like dead space. Let's how do I do this? 1 second. All right. Do you have to write tests for your code? Yeah. It's simple as that. Yeah, you definitely do. I think tests are just part of the game and you have to write tests. Generally, as software developers, like if you have a QA team, the QA team can write more or less the integration tests, but it's a pretty common expectation as a software developer to write at least unit tests. So yeah, unit tests are definitely part of the process, regardless of front end or back end. What language is that? Mostly JavaScript, and my team is using a lot of TypeScript, so that's been somewhat of a learning curve for me. But at the end of the day, it all boils down to turning into JavaScript. So there are some weird like nuances and things that I'm kind of trying to wrap my head around, trying to understand how to read errors better on TypeScript. But TypeScript is interesting. I like it somewhat, but at the same time, there are times where I'm just trying to do actual work, but I'm just fighting with TypeScript just to make it happy. And from that point of view, I do get kind of annoyed. But it is what it is, and it's just something that I kind of have to deal with. What up, Donovan? How are you? Welcome to the stream. Thank you. Just answering some questions and answers. For once, I feel like I'm just somewhat relaxed in these compared to these like past few weeks. All my videos for this week has already been pre-uploaded and ready to go. I'm actually gonna be posting one tomorrow, and now I don't have to worry about content this week. I'll just worry about that this weekend for the next week. Trying to find that balance has been hard, especially with working full time, but it's something I want to be consistent with. So definitely, it's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Oh shoot, the man, the myth, the legend, Kenny Gunderman is here. What up? Welcome to the stream. I must have missed the question. Oh, 5 easy projects for beginners. Something we can use. Yeah, actually, this is pretty good advice. You kind of have to build like a web application is essentially what Kelvin is pretty much saying. So yeah, like that tic-tac-toe or that, I don't know. What's another, maybe, like the funny thing is those games are pretty hard to make, but to a recruiter, when they see that, they're going to be like, what the heck is that? And unfortunately, that's kind of the world we live in, where like trying to build these very intricate games, it may be simple to us as like people because we're just, you draw a circle, you draw an X, but actually programming that it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not something you could just get right off the bat. But unfortunately, we live in a world where it's like, it's all visual and you have to kind of build a project that is somewhat relevant to a recruiter and whatnot. So these recommendations are really good. You have wrong test for your... Yeah, maybe. Just, I think that gets tricky, especially with, I don't know if you're familiar with snapshot testing. Sometimes I'm so tempted to just press like snapshot test ---- which just updates the test, and I don't really know what exactly has changed. So you got to be careful with that one. Thank you. I need to stop saying I am enjoying my time this week. We're like coming to an end of a sprint, and we're gonna start a new sprint tomorrow, and it's a lot of work. I'm expecting more work, obviously, but it just comes with the territory of being a software engineer. It is what it is. What sort of advice would you give to your junior dev self? Yeah, I love these questions. I'm just gonna save them and then just maybe I'll make a video. Advice to myself. Honestly, it's just kind of like that don't give up mentality. I'm not usually the type to really give up on anything that I really, really want to pursue. Like, to be honest, even before I did a coding bootcamp, I don't know if I ever told anyone this or told my YouTube subscribers this, but I was actually I was thinking about going into law school. So I took my LSATs. I took it twice actually, and I didn't really do too well. I mean, I could have got into a decent law school, but at the same time, I had to think back and look, and I realized, I don't like reading and writing. So being a lawyer would probably be a really bad idea. So I was thinking logically, like, what can I do? What do I actually enjoy doing? And that's kind of like solving problems with very minimal information or like minimal knowledge. So what that means is, like with coding, you just kind of have these like basic utility tools or functions like mapping, filter, whatnot, and then you could do a lot of different things with it. And I realized that coding was something that I actually enjoyed doing, and I would tell my junior developer self, like, make sure you understand why you're doing this and make sure you actually enjoy it. And that's what I've done. Maybe something I would do a little bit differently is be more aggressive with like your skills, or just kind of acknowledge that you are a good developer, because I think imposter syndrome sometimes overtakes you and you feel like, oh, maybe I don't deserve a raise, or maybe I should just accept and be happy where I am in this position. But there are a lot of times where I undervalued myself, and I knew I was a great software developer. And yeah, it's just keep working and never stop don't be content with just your current skills. If anything, I've learned in this industry is that technology is always changing and you got to keep going with the time. So for me right now, it's learning a lot about TypeScript and styled components. I mean, I knew they existed a while back. I just never had a use case to really dive deep into it. But these days, that's just kind of what I'm doing, the CSS and JavaScript. I guess I'm part of that that family now of doing CSS and JavaScript. So yeah, exactly. That's super important. No one's gonna pull your code from GitHub. So if all your projects are just on GitHub, then I can't imagine anyone contacting you, because I wouldn't even trust pulling down your code into my local repository. So definitely, I think one or two or three recommendations I would give is definitely deploy your applications. If you're using Heroku, buy the Heroku dynos to make sure that your website isn't slow. And then third is just buy a domain. DGNT makes more than I do. Man, I have imposter syndrome. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, I think imposter syndrome happens to everyone. I have imposter syndrome sometimes, even with my YouTube channel. It's just I think when we don't get the results right away, we start to feel like, is this actually worth it? And I've been watching a lot of different interviews from people from channels interviewing coding bootcamp graduates, and it seems like a lot of times they're kind of in that same boat of feeling overwhelmed. The course is going too fast, and like I don't feel like I got my fundamentals down. And that imposter syndrome definitely kicks in when you're in those high intensive boot camps. But that's just part of the game, and you're gonna feel overwhelmed if you're doing something that's not necessarily self-paced, but kind of cramming within 3 months. You have to know your stuff essentially. But at the same time, like you get over that hump, and I personally, I don't know everything. I am good. I know where my strengths are at, and I know where my weaknesses are, and I just kind of I'm okay with it, and that it is what it is. Exactly. He's been doing this for 6 years, and imposter syndrome. I mean, yeah, like I'm kind of highlighting my accomplishments, I guess, by saying I got into Fang, but I also got rejected plenty of times right before that. So there's no real 100% success rate when it comes to being a software developer or any type of meaningful thing you want to accomplish. And as cliche as it sounds, if you're not failing, then it might not be that hard. Hello. Welcome. Yeah, it definitely comes and goes. You're gonna I think with just experience, it's not I just really feel that the first job as a software developer is always going to be the scariest, and that's coming from someone that has been at multiple first positions. And I would say by far being a software engineer was one of the scarier positions to be in as a first job, because I don't know, you don't want to feel like a fraud. And if I told you that you can be a professional software developer in 3 months or 4 months, yeah, I wouldn't. I'll be a little like suspect. I'm like, what? You really want to hire me? You really want to hire me after just doing 3 or 4 months of coding boot camp? Hey, yep. Hey, we should definitely collab soon. I love your channel, man. Your content is very, very different in the sense that it's very has a lot of great aesthetics to it, and I'm a huge fan of it. So I definitely would love to kind of interview you or just kind of collab with you. We'll see. It's my shoot your shot moment right here. It took me almost 5 years of dev to learn React and start diving into JavaScript deeply, but it's all good. You just can't give up. Yeah, exactly. It's the never-ending grind. It's a never-ending grind. Appreciate you. We'll catch up soon. Also, have a good night. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you saw that interview I had with Valerie, but it took her about 5 years to become a professional software developer. And some people might become software developer in 3 months. Some people take a year or two. But at the end of the day, everyone's going to have their own journey. Everyone has their own issues and things that are preventing them from becoming a software developer. So like, it's really easy to compare, but I would say try not to, because you gotta have your own path. Just gotta. That's so. Yeah. These advices are really helpful. Like, I don't even know why I'm the one giving you the advice, but I'm just agreeing. DJNT and Kelvin are just kind of nailing it on they're so on point with this. You just gotta sleep it off and just be okay with the next day. I think learning how to rest is another thing. I know. I feel like my channel, it has this kind of a nice version of this Gary Vee, like grind and hustle, and you gotta outpace and outwork everyone else. But at the same time, it's I learned to appreciate to take breaks and just rest. I think for me, at least when I first started learning how to code, there was just so much to learn and so much to absorb, and I just knew that I had to take advantage of this small window of time that I had, and that's why I was kind of grinding as much as I did. But maybe I would have told my junior developer self a little, hey, just take a break here and there. You know, you don't have to always be constantly working, because eventually you're going to get there. So thank you. It's not even my music. I'm just listening to some lo-fi in the background, but I appreciate it. It's good to talk to you again. Shoot, did I miss you? Oh yeah, I did. Ignacio, hey, how you doing? What up? You know, one day I am gonna just leave it to DGNT, and then he could just take over my channel. It'll be the Kelvin and DGNT show. Yeah, just push on through, man. And I think that's why community is so important. So if you are able to find someone that is also coding alongside you, or kind of just going through the same misery. I don't want to say misery, because I do enjoy coding, but just the struggle with you, that's why it's usually good to have someone like a partner or someone that's also coding with you while you're coding, because it really can get lonely when you don't know what you're doing and you have no one else to ask for help. So I know that I have my Discord channel, but there's also a Free Code Camp Discord channel and a Odin Project Discord channel as well. So I will look into that as well. Hey, I don't know. Wednesday is great. This is I was mentioning earlier in the stream that this is the first week where I just feel really relaxed. Maybe I got some good sleep yesterday, but I got my videos all queued up this week on Sunday, so I don't have to worry about making content this week. And now I'm just chilling and relaxing, talking to you guys and gals. How's your Wednesday? Yeah, let's learn some TypeScript together. What's my Discord link? Oh. DGNT, one of my moderators, do you mind posting the Discord link? Oh, can you do that? Let's see. How do I do this? These are really addicting, by the way. I swear I have a sweet tooth. No, this is not a ASMR channel, but I just love candy, and nothing like eating candy at 10 o'clock. Any questions, everyone? I started a bootcamp yesterday. Seems like a good option since I feel like my bases are kind of off, and I found myself Googling stuff I should know from the get-go. What bootcamp did you join? I'm curious. And just to let you know, I still Google to this day. Yeah, and there are some basic and fundamental things that I might just know, but there are still a lot of things that I have to Google. So don't feel like, don't feel bad whenever you do Google. I think a lot of software engineers talk about that too in general, where Googling is okay. Honestly, Google is where I learn most of my stuff related to coding. So I'm curious what bootcamp you went into, but I'm glad that you decided to do something to kind of jumpstart your learning if you feel like you needed it. So can anyone become a software engineer? This is kind of a loaded question. Ari, you asked me a very loaded question. No, I think everyone can code, but I don't know if everyone can be a software engineer. And I try to be careful about this one because I don't not everyone can be doctors, or not everyone can be lawyers, not everyone can do what can everyone be a basketball player. So I don't think everyone can professionally become a software engineer, but the barrier to entry is a lot lower than a lot of different things, because with being a doctor, you need to graduate and then go to med school and then go to residency and whatnot. For lawyer, you have to go to law school and pass the bar and whatnot. But with software development, there are a lot of software developers that don't even have high school degrees or don't have a college computer science degree. So the barrier to entry to become a software engineer is a lot lower. And as long as you kind of put in the time and effort for it, then I really believe that you can be a software engineer. But I don't think necessarily everyone will enjoy being a software engineer. So it really is what you are interested in doing. And I like I said, the example that I like to use with me, why I like software engineering and software development is, to me, it feels like I'm solving this never-ending Rubik's Cube. And so far, I've been looking at a computer screen while reading code for almost 8 to 10 hours straight. Maybe taking 30 minutes to an hour break, eating lunch or drinking coffee and resting a little bit. But you have to be okay with looking at a code for that long periods of time, and being okay with getting frustrated, being okay with things not working, reading errors, Googling. It takes a certain type of perseverance to be able to get through it, but it may not be for everyone. So I think anyone can have the opportunity to become a software engineer, but maybe not everyone can be a software engineer. Do we need to have a passion for coding? I think there has to be a little bit of passion. I mean, I think I'm fortunate enough that I enjoy what I do. And maybe that's, not everyone is in that type of situation. So that's kind of what I was alluding to, is you have to kind of enjoy that grind of trying to figure out this black box sometimes where, there's no instructions manual or anything like that. So yeah, you as a software engineer are required to be the one that's coming up with the solution or the way to handle things. I think you're kind of more or less building out the guidelines rather than someone telling you how to do it and what to do. So as a software engineer, you're just you're the solutions girl or you're the solutions guy, essentially. Hey, welcome to the Discord channel. Is GitHub a good place to practice reading code? No, I don't think so. I think you need to write your own code or follow some like documentation. But I don't think GitHub is a great place to read someone else's code unless you clearly know what they're doing or like what they're trying to build, because then it won't make any sense. I would probably do like tutorials or some kind of structured learning, basically like Free Code Camp or Udemy course. That way you could actually know. So you have kind of like somewhat context of what you're actually doing. Like reading GitHub, going on someone's GitHub and reading their code. Well, how do you even know if it's good or not? How are you gonna vet it? So and if you're at a like kind of junior level and you're trying to read like React code, then it's gonna be like next to impossible to really understand what the heck is going on. So I wouldn't necessarily say that's the greatest way to read code. I just think by doing, it's probably the best way, and you're kind of killing two birds with one stone. See, this is why he needs to just take over the channel, because he said it in such a simpler way. You got to try it out, and you got to figure out if you actually like it or not. And yeah, I think you kind of develop that, I don't want to say passion, but you develop that interest, at least that initial interest of, oh, this is really cool and I like it. For me, it was watching a YouTube video, learning about Android programming, writing code in Java, which I have no idea what I was doing, but I was able to move like a green ball from this position to this position and have it animated going from left and right. And I was like, oh my God, this is so mind-blowing. I'm able to do something and actually see it on the screen. So that was kind of my aha moment of, wow, I was like, I could actually build things and have it on the web or on a mobile platform. And I could just do so much with this. Like the potential is limitless. So that's kind of why I really had this initial spark and interest to learn software development. But I'm not gonna lie, it was super hard. My coding bootcamp was 3 months. I felt overwhelmed. Sometimes I was very close to tears at moments. And I guess to bring context, like I moved to New York from Austin, and I didn't really have any family or friends in New York when I went. And I kind of did that intentionally so I don't get distracted during my learning. But at the same time, going from the West Coast to Central to the East Coast in the middle of like February, April, it's so cold, and experiencing snow every day for the first time, that was kind of eye-opening or a rude awakening for me. So like that was like one of the first times where I had to really consider buying snowshoes or snow boots, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, but now I've been living in the East Coast for 6 years. So I'm used to it now. Is there anything that surprised you with Amazon and their workflow? Nothing too crazy. I mean, we still use all the like similar technologies and languages. Everyone kind of had no one in Amazon. Oh, let me rephrase that. You have a lot of autonomy at Amazon with like whatever languages you want to use, whatever framework you want to use. It really just depends on the team that you're in. So one thing that I thought that was pretty cool. No one really forces you to write code in certain ways. They have a lot of internal tools, and that's just something I just have to get familiar with as I grow with the company. But other than that, nothing too crazy. I don't know why Fang gets such bad reputation at times, but everyone so far in my team at least has been super nice, and people in my sister team have been super nice as well. So far so good. I really can't complain. What has been your experience working with female developers? Do you think there's any major difference between male versus female developers? Female developers, there's no one on my team currently that's a female, but I've worked with female developers in the past on my old team. I mean, just like a male or female developer, they're gonna be good developers and they're gonna be not as good developers. One thing about coding that I realized is that I don't know. It's hard. I don't really differentiate based on their gender. It's just kind of like we're just discussing code, and whether you're a dude or a woman, it doesn't really matter to me personally. It's just we just ask, you just do your usual GitHub reviews and whatnot. But I guess the major difference is just there's not as many females in tech than males. So that's something that I'm very fully aware of, and I'm hoping that gets a little bit better, because like that there's like that Silicon Valley episode where they're like, oh, we could hire like a female developer. It's like, dude, that's not the point. Obviously you want to hire the best candidate, but I don't know what the right solution for that is. But no, I don't really see any like distinction or differentiation personally for me. Neither actually. I got contacted, so that was a little bit of a different situation. I wasn't even thinking about Amazon, to be honest. I got contacted, and it was just, I mean, to be honest, I got contacted before, and maybe personally I just never felt ready. But at the same time, I was probably more active in my job search this time versus any other times Amazon or all these other things. When other things contacted me, I know like Instagram contacted me like maybe 6 months ago about a position there, and I just wasn't really interested in moving at that time. But it's all about timing, right? So from that point of view, I got kind of lucky where once I started really actively looking, Amazon contacted me. And if you ask me, would I apply to Amazon? Would I have applied to Amazon at that moment? I don't think so, actually. And it's nothing against Amazon. I just thought in my head that I would just be working at another startup. But it's kind of crazy how the world works sometimes. Oh wow, that's really cool. I could already tell like she's very has that energy and that passion for tech, and to actually passion to help students, because I think there's a huge distinction between just being a good software developer and maybe a good software developer that knows how to teach. Teaching is definitely like another skill that is really hard to learn. And if people are good at it, it's like one of those things where you want to make sure you keep them, or those are like the very special unicorns that can provide both like output value and also a teaching value. So kudos to you, man. Good luck, man. I'm rooting for you. And yeah, the main reason was because even though we're all self-taught, I completely agree. Like, you have no idea how many times I bother a coworker just to bounce off ideas and make sure, are we doing this right? Like, is this the right approach? Obviously, there's like a time and a place where you need to kind of focus on your own, but at the same time, it's also good to like collaborate, because that's what working in a team is. You're actually collaborating and working together. So, hey, like I think you made a good choice. The Amazon gave crazy data structure and algorithm questions I can't really like talk about that kind of part of the interview too much, but in terms of like preparation, I would just recommend, the usual, the leak code, understand your fundamentals, and depending on what type of job you're interviewing for, whether it's like a front end role or like a generic SDE role, play to your strengths, know what you're good at, and know your preferred language, and be prepared to just kind of know all forms of coding, more or less. But yeah, it really just depends on the type of position and the type of level that you're playing at. That's what happened to my a lot on and off. Not so. Yeah, consistency is super hard. It's like one of the major blockers for a lot of people trying to break into the space, because everyone's got things to do, man. And it's not necessarily like, is coding hard? It's just, is coding a priority for you right now? And like, that's why I think motivation is such a bad way to like push for things, because if I'd use motivation alone for my YouTube channel, then my YouTube channel wouldn't exist, because there are weeks where I just don't want to do it. But it's because I'm disciplined, and it's because I know what I want to do, what I want to get out of this, and what I'm ultimately trying to do with this channel is the reason why I do what I do. And just like, I mean, I see so many parallels with my YouTube channel on coding, is that I know motivation can help me get started. And, you know, there are more days where I'll be more like energized to do it, and some days where I won't be. But what really keeps me going and being consistent, even though maybe my channel isn't as big as all these other YouTubers in the same community, is that I have my own journey and I'm going to figure it out. And if it's a natural progression, a slow natural progression, then so be it. But yeah, I think what's more important to me in terms of like when you actually put effort into something is staying disciplined, and those are my 2 cents. Are there any major differences between your previous industry and tech, like how people work and behave? Your previous industry. Oh, so I used to work in the semiconductor industry. I worked at Samsung as a process engineer, and that environment was very different from tech. I had to be at my desk sitting at 7:30 in the morning, and the earliest I could leave was 6 p.m. And if that wasn't any worse, since it was a manufacturing facility, so I also had to have a pager with me, and I would get pages in the middle of the night because something was broken or whatever. And then you could only imagine when I joined a tech company and everyone's starting their day around like 9 a.m., 10 a.m. They like embrace remote work life. Yeah, it was very different, but yeah, I don't know if I could ever go back to that kind of industry again. And I just really like tech. Yeah, man, I'm rooting for you, and let me know how it goes. And like once you finish, maybe we could have like a one-on-one conversation, and we could do like an episode in the future. Well, I'm really close to this mic. How important are soft skills during it? Very important, especially as a junior developer or applying for like a junior developer position. You kind of have to show that you can code a little, and then you're very passionate about learning. You're passionate about the company that you're applying for. Make sure you do the research, like what does this company do? Maybe you could even ask like research and see like what series A or series B or series C. Just have these loaded questions ready to go, because as a junior candidate, they're not necessarily looking for you to save this company. They're just trying to find someone that is eager to learn, has actually put an effort into knowing what the company is doing, and has a genuine interest in just being contributing to a team. So I think these soft skills are super important and super necessary for you to get a junior position, because as great as you can be self-studying and learning on your own, you're still never going to be like better than those mid to senior level developers that have been in this industry for like 5 to 6 years, right? So you got to play to your strengths, and you got to kind of tell your story. And I think that's the really important during these type of interviews. Of course, they are going to test you in some way, fashion, or form, but having that right combination of showing that you are passionate and you are interested and you can code, then that's like, to me, that's like the perfect combination. Yeah, I mean, for me, I did a lot of lead code, easy, medium, and hards too as well. But it's a tough one, because like some of the lead code hard ones, I was just kind of like, if I get asked this question, then so be it. I'm not gonna like, if I don't understand it, I'm just gonna move on from it. I have to admit, like there were some lead code questions where I just said, yeah, I'm not gonna do this problem, because number one, if they, not even just like Amazon necessarily, but if any company asks me this question, I'll really question whether or not I really want to work here. So that was my mindset. I definitely study a lot of lead code questions, and I didn't only study the easy ones, but if there was something that was just really, really over my head, I just moved on from it. There's just too much to learn, so I'm not gonna waste my time. Important, because working on teams is all about Yeah. Motivation is temporary. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I'm like running. I'm a little late to some of these messages. Yeah, on point. Discipline equals freedom. Yeah. And that's what I'm learning right now. I mean, maybe, it's a little tougher with like a full-time job and doing YouTube, but I think number one, I realized to keep this going, and even with software developer journey, is that you have to actually enjoy it. Because if I really didn't like YouTube, I probably would not be doing this. So being able to talk to you guys and just have fun conversations and whatnot it keeps me going, and I'm really happy now because I could have sworn maybe I would say even 2 months ago, I would go on a live stream and literally it would just be me and DGNT talking and no one else was watching. Those are the good old days. Even if you have 5+ years, if you can't answer those questions, they won't hire you. It's just a joke. You have to grind LeetCode just for Fang. Yeah. I mean, I will have to say one thing that I am very happy about with doing LeetCode questions and just doing algorithm questions and brushing up on my fundamentals in JavaScript is that it kind of forced me to learn and relearn some of these like basic fundamentals that I kind of forgot about. Sometimes we're so living in a world where it's like so much abstraction with like frameworks and whatnot. It's like, are you actually coding anymore? So what I really, really got to appreciate during my time of when I was prepping for interviews is that it's like, oh, wow, I didn't know certain for loops work this way, or like I actually never use a while loop ever until I started doing like LeetCode questions and algorithm questions. And in some ways, I'm glad that I actually learned these things because I kind of forgot. And in some ways, it made me really think about code in a different way. So yeah, I get that whole sentiment of people saying like, oh, it's so stupid that they just test you on things that you never use. But there are a lot of things that I was able to relearn by doing some of these algorithm questions, learning these JavaScript fundamentals, building a web app in Java and plain vanilla JavaScript. Who knows how to do that? And maybe you don't need to do that on an everyday basis, but I would argue that knowing a vanilla JavaScript can only help you with like a framework like React or Vue or Angular. Even now in my work or in my day to day, there are times where I have to get you have to find an element using document.get element by ID or class name or whatever. And only reason why I was able to just do those things is because I was able to like kind of do that preparation. So I get the sentiment, but at the same time, you kind of, if you look at it from a positive perspective, it can really reintroduce you to things that you just may have neglected. And to me, that's a win. Yeah, I mean, at least for Amazon, I'm still trying to get my feet wet with the manager one-on-ones. But at my previous job, my older boss, maybe I'll just talk about like my CTO when he was my boss. Then, I think there's two ways to approach this. Is if you have a good boss, they're going to kind of plan out your career trajectory for you and ask you, what do you want to get out of this? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? But there's not all managers are going to be like that. So sometimes you have to kind of control the narrative and tell them, what are your goals? What do you want to accomplish? Say like, I want to become a senior developer by the end of this year, or I want to make a 10% pay increase or 15% pay increase by the end of the next year. How do I get to that? That pay or salary, right? Like, what projects do I need to do to show you that I deserve this amount of like a pay increase or whatever. So I think personally for me, I like doing the latter because it's more proactive than reactive. So a lot of times for me, it's really important to just kind of throw it on the table and say like, this is what I want to accomplish for this year, and how do I get to there? And if they say I can't, then you start questioning like, is it even worth being here, right? Like, can I even accomplish my goals if they can't even provide for it? So like, at least you get some context behind what you're trying to accomplish, right? But there's so many people that are like blindsided by their yearly end review because they think they did all this hard work, and then they go to their one-on-one, they're like, hey, good job, here's like a 3% pay increase. It's like, what the hell? Like, what just happened? Or like, I didn't get promoted, right? But the thing is, like, if you never have these kind of discussions prior, then yeah, you could put some blame on your manager, but at the end of the day, the most important person that's going to care about you the person that's going to care about you the most is going to be yourself. So I would say be more proactive about like during your one-on-ones than just like hoping for the best. Hopefully that helped. Did I negotiate my first salary? No. I actually made a video about that too. I do regret it a little bit that I didn't, but in the grand scheme of things, I was fine. I would suggest well, this mic is so close. I would suggest to negotiate if you can. Ideally, if you have 2 job offers, that's like the best bargaining chip. But generally, there is like a lower and upper band that a company is willing to do. By then, the company already has put in a lot of effort to get to know who you are and made that offer. So don't be obviously overly ambitious about it, but try to see like what you're happy with, and if you're okay with getting maybe like $2,000 to $3,000 or $4,000 less. Let me get back to you on that one because I've only been at my company for a month, and my other company I've been there for 5 years. It's really hard to compare. It's like apples and oranges at this point. So I'll let you know. Maybe I'll make a video about it in the future if once I hit 10,000 subscribers. Just kidding. I don't know. We'll see. But it's a good question. I'm curious. I'm curious myself. Marvel or DC? Ooh, I might get in trouble for this. I would say recently more Marvel, just because the DC movies have been so bad. But I did kind of grow up watching a lot of DC-based comics. So yeah, like I grew up watching Batman, like Batman Beyond. I mean, I guess I watched Spider-Man and X-Men too. So I don't know. It's a good question. I do like Batman though. I think Marvel makes better movies. But yeah, I just don't like the actors that play Batman. Except what's his name? Oh my gosh, why am I forgetting? Who played Batman? I gotta look it up. Yeah, I like Christian Bale. I didn't like Ben Affleck though. Who are your favorite? What's your favorite MCU character? Everyone, put it down. I think DGNT's is Ant-Man. Yeah, he played Batman, right? Yeah, he did. Ooh, also, does anyone have any good suggestions on video ideas? I need some. Iron Man's the best. I mean, he has money, he has suits. Yeah, can't complain. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. I think it depends on the type of startup, but if you're relatively new, be prepared to work a lot just because not only are startups semi-tough environment, but you're also going to be relatively new to coding. So it's the perfect combination for you to learn quickly and maybe potential late nights. Something we should be aware of. I mean, they say that working. I wish I could compare because if I had like a second version of myself that worked at a bigger company at the same time where I worked at a startup, I could actually compare what it's like being a junior developer in a big tech company versus a junior developer not in a big tech company. But no, I mean every I think for me it was just the code bases were huge. But that applies to both big and small companies. It's just maybe they do more happy hours together, and it's a little bit of a tighter niche depending on the size of your company. A lot of the small companies I joined had about like 12, 15 people, so it was relatively small. Captain America. Who's my favorite Marvel character? I guess it would be Iron Man too. DGNT can be War Machine, and I'll be Iron Man. What kind of projects is anyone working on? If you guys are working on any side projects. I learned Ruby on Rails, Ruby, and vanilla JavaScript. Very, very little vanilla JavaScript. And when I say I learned Ruby on Rails, I literally learned how to make a model view controller, and I didn't even really make APIs. So when I went to coding bootcamp school, there wasn't React. It was just Backbone and Angular. But they didn't teach those things at my coding bootcamp. They just taught you how to do everything in the server side. So it's kind of funny that now I do like completely like single page applications. We're using like React and whatnot. But yeah, it's crazy how that's what I'm saying. Like tech evolves so quickly, so you gotta always be prepared to learn new things and be open to just embracing that kind of like new technology and whatnot. I'll be the robot. What's the problem with the Android? Is it because the library versions are so outdated now? On an interesting note, I'm getting my vaccine tomorrow. Let's go. First shot. I'm currently working as a designer, doing some UI UX and some WordPress, but I want to transition to develop the things I design. So yeah, that's my. Let's go. I didn't know you were a designer first. That's really awesome. So I think two people I interviewed, they were designers first, and then they went into slowly doing like HTML, CSS, and now they're just awesome like JavaScript front end developers, which is crazy. Yeah. Holy cow, that's crazy, man! You barely you just jumped. Yeah, no, it's crazy to think about because like literally when I was in the coding bootcamp, all I was thinking about was, oh, I just want to build out or what I in my head, I didn't really like realize it was an API, but I just wanted to work on like the back end stuff and learn how relational database works and whatnot. But kind of funny how things take a turn and you kind of find what you actually enjoy when you have time to fully embrace all the different types of technologies. And crazy enough, I wonder if this camera, 1 second, let me see if I can shift this here. Oh, there you go. Is that better? Crazy enough that I really like CSS, so working on a new API for a portfolio. Yo, let's go. Let's do it. Yeah, luckily I was able to sign up. It's really hard to get a spot, but for some reason I woke up really early 2 days ago, and I just kept refreshing, and then eventually I was able to sign up for one. And it's not too far. It's like 20 minutes away from my area, riding a subway, so it should be good to go. I completely agree with this. Having a strong UI and UX, clutch once you actually can code and do well, because those are the people that really stand out, and very attention to detail is very high. I wish I had more of kind of like a designer mindset, but it sounds bad to say as a front-end developer, but sometimes I'm just like, oh, it kind of looks good, it should be fine, good to go. But I think sometimes that's changing a lot more these days for me too, just because quality quality is important. That's amazing. Thank you. Yeah, me too, bro. I love working on the front end, but it's like you need to be full stack at least to understand to be really valuable to companies. Or you could just get really good at front end. That's what I did. Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, I would say like full stack is really important because you have to be fully aware of how things work and how request, response, and all that stuff works. But I can argue that if you're really good at one specific niche, whether it's like front end or back end, then you could, as long as you're able to sell yourself, that's the most important thing. And when I say front end, it's not just like building the front end web applications. Like you have to think about front end architecture. Like how do you want to create like scalable CSS? Like how do you want to make sure your front end caching is done correctly? And how do you know if your Webpack builds are most optimized for production? These are all part of front end and not back end, right? So for me personally, I was able to kind of sell myself along those lines, is where I'm like, I think a lot about the front end in a more like deeper level beyond just like, oh, this is a component, this component renders. Like anybody could do that eventually, right? So you got to think about a lot of different things of like how to build scalable front end applications. So to me, yeah, like companies are looking for full stack, but there are companies that have the capacity or need to have someone with more front end expertise, especially because I think there is this weird transition that a lot of people do where it's like they start like they do full stack, they could do front end a little bit, but they eventually the seniors become like back end developers, but there are not as many senior front end people in this space that I noticed. So the ones that are really good are the ones that tend to get those like senior front end positions. I think the position I'm looking for is called full stack front end or UI developer. I don't really know. Yeah, those are the front end and UI developer is probably similar, and then the full stack is probably going to be the front end and back end position. No, I don't think so. It's just it's really about the amount of effort and work you put into it. I really feel like this industry is one of those industries where you're kind of evaluated based on what you output, what you can output. Maybe not for a junior developer because there is a little bit more of like a looser criteria for it. But once you're in that mid to senior level position, I would say it's pretty hard to get a job sometimes. Like, it's not hard to get an interview, but it's like hard because they expect a lot from you because you are experienced. So no, I don't think 38 is too late. I've at my old job, I think we hired someone around that age as a junior candidate, and he was just a good developer. Not the best developer by any means because he was still for like a junior position, but he was passionate, interested in learning more about the company, and was willing and knew how to code. So yeah, we hired him. Probably gonna stream for maybe like 15 more minutes. So if you guys have any last minute questions, please let me know. But thank you for coming on a Wednesday. This is kind of crazy to me. I always feel like my channel is like, I mean, it is still small. So it's like these streams are so random and sporadic. I'm very curious like who will show up. Yep, exactly. Yeah, no problem. Let me know. You can feel free to join my Discord channel as well if you have any questions. I thought I set up Nightbot, but I guess I didn't. Let me just post that link again. It's all manual. You obviously know that I'm not a professional at this. Oh shit, we got a famous person here, Jeremiah Peoples. Yeah, we definitely need to collaborate too again. I've been meaning to do that. Yeah, let's talk soon. Knowing everything you know now, if you could give your day one developer self one bit of advice, what would it be? I think someone asked me this, like, what would you tell your junior developer self? And day one developer, I think it's be okay with being uncomfortable. Because there's so many moments in my engineering time where I've been so uncomfortable, but it's okay because eventually you're going to solve the problem. And I think the second thing I would recommend to myself is never get emotional about code. And I would say my good classmate who ended up becoming a good coworker of mine, he gave me such good wisdom. And it was like, at that point, it just clicked in my head. And he said, there's no need to get mad or angry or emotional. Like the solution is just in the code, right? It's like if you watch the Zoolander where the files are in the computer, like he kind of was giving me that kind of moment where, you know, the code isn't trying to fight back at you. It's not putting you in an uncomfortable spot. You're writing the code and you're the one that needs to come up with the solution for the code. But there's no need to like bang your desk or like start like pulling out your hairs because something isn't working. It's just code, right? At the end of the day, you're going to go back home to your family or your dog or whatever. It's okay. We're not saving lives. And you're eventually going to, like, I would say more often than not, I've always ended up solving the problem. So I think that's one thing I've still tried to keep true to this day is not to get emotional about coding. Yeah, there are days where it's going to be harder than others, but it's just code. It's just code at the end of the day. So that would be advice I'll give to myself. No, full stack front end. Someone who can code and design at the same. Oh, I didn't know that it could work the other way around. That's pretty cool. Kind of on the crossroad, like, do I want to be full stack or senior front end? And I want to really lean into front end because I like the animations and creativity. Yeah, Kelvin, I mean, do what makes you happy. I think ultimately that's the most important thing, is do what makes you happy. And like, I personally don't like writing APIs. It's not my favorite. I mean, I'll do it if I have to, and that's kind of, part of the job. But if I can be in a position where I could just be better at front end, and that's kind of what I enjoy doing. Yeah, it's I don't know how else to say it. It really is like you gotta do what you enjoy. And if a company is kind of like forcing you to do something in the back end when you like signed up for a front end position, maybe that's something that you should kind of consider looking for other opportunities or whatnot. But it really depends on your tolerance too of what you can stand and what you can't. But yeah, do what you love, man. Do what you love to do. Yeah, it's there's nothing wrong with it. And don't get me wrong, like I said, I can do some back end development, and like on my personal side projects, I definitely need to write some type of back end. But I would say my strengths are definitely on the front end. Hey, Creating with Code, how you doing? Now that you are no longer a junior developer, looking back, is there anything you wish your bootcamp would have taught or focused on more? I think for me, my situation is a little different because I did my coding bootcamp back in 2015, and I feel they did a good job in a sense that at the time where the technology was, Ruby on Rails was really popular still. Maybe there were some front-end frameworks like Backbone, Ember, and Angular, but it wasn't like that was always the de facto front-end you had to use. So for me, it was good. I wish we did a little bit more JavaScript because with Ruby on Rails, and I don't know if it still applies to this day, but they were using CoffeeScript, and CoffeeScript is kind of dead. So I just don't know anyone using it. And CoffeeScript actually was really cool back then because it had a lot of things that currently ES6 has now back in 2015. It's just, I thought it was a great name too, CoffeeScript, but maybe, like it just, some things just don't gain traction and just end up in the graveyard. So I'm working wink on a website for a construction company. I finished it today, but I'm pretending I'm still working on it. They want it for cheaper if they find it. Hey man, sure, it's your prerogative. Gotta hustle, I guess. I literally swear every 1 minute at work when I had a job. Also, why does it seem like Java wants the smoke all the time? Yeah, I mean, I think with stress in coding, it's never the code. It's like the people and the environment that you're in. Maybe you're under a huge time crunch to get this project done, and not enough cushion was allocated for you to really do this in a pretty like stress-free environment. Like maybe they asked you to, hey, we need this in 2 days, and this is a 4-day project. So you have to start working overtime, and I didn't sign up for this, and you start questioning, why am I doing this? So yeah, the code is tough, but I think it's just the nature of the environment that you're in. So yeah. Hey, it's Jordan, the computer scientist. Hey, long time no see, man. How you been doing? How's school? Oh, let's hit that like, people. Yes. Like and subscribe. I suck at this, obviously. I'm really glad how this camera is actually turning up because I've been using my webcam prior to that, but now I'm actually connected to my Canon camera that I use to do my normal recordings with. So life has been good. Also, is there another side where it's like I'm super curious about learning everything? So there's that I have a real interest in it. Shake my head. Yeah, that's I mean, that could be a problem. Like some people could even say that, are you a jack of all trades or a master of none? I think there are some good full stack developers. I'm not gonna lie, but it's just kind of a give and take, right? Some people are gonna really be good at one thing. Some people are just gonna be really good at another thing. Some people are just maybe overall good at everything, but maybe they're not as familiar with like Webpack, or maybe they're not familiar with like micro front ends and all that whatnot. Well, not sorry, micro front end, microservices and whatnot. So, do I freelance? No. It was kind of with my full-time job, I could only do like one other thing, and right now that's kind of like my Tech Rally channel and just kind of that side. Tech Rally is my freelance, I guess, if you want to say it that way. Man, what if this was a job question and if you got it wrong, you didn't get it? I actually use all three. And don't ask me why, or like don't ask me like how I decide which one over the other. I think it just depends on the context of like how I write my thumbnail title or whatever. That's a great question. It's like, do you say software developer or do you say software engineer? Oops, I must have missed something. Oh, right now I'm learning more. Nice. Are you still doing the Codecademy stuff, or how are you learning JavaScript? Maybe you're just known to be an overall good engineer. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it makes you flexible, right? So that means that you can apply to both front end and back end, or maybe even like full stack positions. So I want to say that's necessarily a bad thing. To be honest, like if I apply for a back end position, I probably wouldn't get it, just because the disparity between my skills are just so bad. Maybe it's not good to admit this, but you know what? The thing is, I'm still flexible to this day, and it's like I won't ever say no to a company asking me to do some work on back-end stuff. I think they just understand that they know where my strengths are at, and I'll be a type that is flexible to do it. It's just maybe it's like an ROI thing for them. Who knows? Always engineer, because I mean, it's true. I don't know. Sometimes I like the word developer. I don't know why. Maybe I'm a little biased. I'm really trying to get through it, but a lot of my focus on math. Like, what kind of math? You can call yourself an engineer if your company gives you that title, right? I don't know, just don't call me like a software developer ninja or something, or whatever the heck there was this like weird period of time where they weren't giving really clear titles for software engineers, and it was really confusing. Oh man, good luck. I had to take those classes too. They were not easy. I had a mechanical engineering degree. Barely used it to this day. Went into software. Yes, that one. JavaScript Ninja. Senior Ninja. You are killing it right now. JavaScript Rockstar. And then you just replace JavaScript with React Senior Ninja, React Rockstar. I need a RR engineer. Oh, so Jordan, are you gonna apply for internships this summer, or how does that work for you? R. Oh, that was kind of cringy. My bad, guys. It's Kelvin's fault. Professional webmaster. I actually heard that one too. That's an. Oh, wow. It's already 11 o'clock. All right, guys. I am probably going to do... I know I said 11, but maybe like 5 to 10 more minutes. And then I'll be peacing out. I was planning on getting a cert and going for an internship after my associates. Wait, why can't you get an internship during the school year during the summer? Is that not a thing anymore? Yeah, maybe yeah, you should ask some of these software developers in our community and ask for their opinion, because I feel like internships are meant for college students, so it might be worth looking into. I don't know if it's what month is March? Yeah, it's definitely not too late during the summertime, at least, to look ahead. So I'm just trolling. I like hanging out with you guys too. That's why I'm staying longer. What time? Yeah, actually, where are you guys from? Like, what's the time zone? Is it 11 p.m. like me, or are you guys on the West Coast? Yeah, I think there might be some more, and don't quote me on this because I have no idea, but there might be more like leniency about having projects when you're a college student, because I don't know if this is true or not, but I would assume they like look at your GPA and whatnot. So maybe the projects aren't as important when you're still a student, but I definitely feel like it would help in the long run anyways. Yeah, definitely look into some. Miami. Heard it's pretty COVID safe there. Oh shoot, I said the word. Am I gonna get demonetized? Nope. Just kidding. It doesn't even matter because I'm not even monetized. I can say where the heck I want. West Coast 802. Nice. Nice. I know DGNT is from the West Coast, Vancouver area. Wow, 12 a.m. Time to go to sleep, man. I'm already in April. It's April Fool's time. I'm quitting. Should I make a I'm quitting YouTube now? Just kidding. No, that's too clickbaity. I'm very curious what YouTubers are gonna do for tomorrow. West Coast. Let's go. I actually want to move back to the West Coast. I'm originally from California myself. So Jess, I grew up in Orange County and then went to school in San Diego. So definitely miss the West Coast vibes. Portland, Oregon. Let's go. What's Portland known for again? No sales tax. That's amazing. East Coast. Clickbait. I would have to disagree. NorCal is not that great. I might be biased, but I don't think NorCal is that great. It's so windy. Too many software developers. You gotta mention I'm dropping out of my computer science degree to work. You know, no one will have context on this. Oh shoot! Hey, OC. Good times. Nice, nice. Yeah. Why'd you end up in the Oregon area? Ooh, I am getting tired, but this is so fun. And it's like really hard to leave. Yeah, I think supposedly the sweet spot between the Oregon and Washington is that what is it again? There's no income tax in Washington, so you work in Washington, but you buy all your crap in Oregon and just drive it over. Oh, DevOps. Yo, Sid, how are you doing? We're just chilling today. We're actually kind of close to winding down, but I'm glad that you came at the tail end of the stream. Look at all this secret conversation you guys are having without me. You know what, Kelvin and Nacio? I'm gonna ban you guys next time. Just kidding. Washington just at capital gains tax? Really? Huh. Maybe it's time to move to Texas. I actually lived in Texas before. Man, I went from having no state income tax to having state income tax plus a city tax, and obviously federal tax. But living in New York is expensive. Nice. Yeah, I actually grew up in like Garden Grove, Westminster area. Hey, everyone, give DevOps Directive a subscribe too. I'm sure he has a lot more subscribers than I do, but very knowledgeable if you ever want to get into like freelancing or like kind of starting your own developer business. A lot of great knowledge, and I think he does a lot of Twitter Space now because he got off Clubhouse. Disappointed in you, but yeah, I think him and Danny Thompson and a few other YouTube developers have been doing a lot of have been involved in a lot of activity in the Twitter Space. And if you don't know what Twitter Space is, it's like a club. It's like an audio room where you could talk about whatever you want. And generally, with software developers, we talk about tech. So, yeah, give him a follow on YouTube and Twitter. A lot of cool. I keep saying Clubhouse, but Twitter Space rooms. Spanglish. Are you gonna create me like a? I mean, those translators kind of exist already, right? But yo, I think that could go viral. Good night, Ignacio. Hey man, good luck on your coding boot camp. Seems like you're in a good spot right now. So I'll be rooting for you. Yeah, there isn't as many software developers in Clubhouse, which is so interesting to me. The only fear I have about Twitter Space is it's the same type of people that I follow are going to be the same type of people talking, which can be good or bad. But I think what made Clubhouse so appealing to me was that you get to meet new people, and that kind of exploring aspect of it has been really helpful for me, especially because through Clubhouse, I met a lot of different recruiters and whatnot, and they've given me a lot of insight about what recruiters are looking for when they contact developers, and maybe when a developer contacts them, like to determine if they want to respond or not. They give you kind of like a template of how they expect messages to get sent to them. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Kelvin's leaving to. Oh, okay. Kelvin's saying bye. Yeah. I don't even know why I showed this stuff. Yo, I hope to get there someday. 10,000 subs. That's insane, man. I'm happy for you. That's very, very proud of any YouTuber that's able to hit those kind of milestones. I was pretty happy about the 1,000, but it's not easy, man. And I do admit I'd look at it every day. It's like, yes, I got like 3 subscribers. All right, let's go. Amazon's good. I was talking about it a little early on the stream, but I'm very happy there right now. There's a lot of smart developers, which is awesome, and it's good to be around this. It's good to know that you're like not the smartest person in the room. There's definitely like still a bit of a learning curve on the infrastructure and things like that, but coding wise, it's been good. I've been contributing, which is always a good sign, and everyone so far has been very helpful whenever I do ask for help on Slack or need to do some kind of pairing session. So yeah, no complaints at all. How's the freelance gig? How's the freelance economy going right now? Well, what do you actually like? What words do you actually use for what you do? Do you say it's freelancing? Do you say it's your own business? What do you say? Thank you. It's yeah, one thing cool about Amazon is that you're not just working with like 50 other developers. You're actually working in smaller teams, which makes it feel more like a startup. And I kind of like that a lot because I worked at a startup before, and they give you a lot of autonomy. So not everyone is using the same technology or anything like that. Everyone kind of just chooses whatever they want to use, and in relation to the project that they're working on. So some teams, they just write in JS and React. Some teams use TypeScript. A lot of React, but it doesn't. But I've seen other portfolios or projects use like Vue. So it's a myriad of technologies that Amazon's pretty cool with. So I really like that a lot. Yeah, that sounds about right. Has Twitter Space been more helpful in having these kind of topics like freelance consulting and contracting in relation to what you do? Were you able to connect with more people that have kind of been in that kind of industry? Because in some ways, I would say what you do is relatively unique compared to like normal software develop or web development. But I'd be curious if you're able to kind of meet people in the same niche as you through Twitter Space. And I know it's in beta, so it's probably not the most optimal comparison, but yeah, I'd be curious. Have you heard of asymmetry? I feel like that is what you're going through, bro. Your channel will pop, I feel. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you. No, I mean, I've had a lot of people reach out to me and tell me the same, and I do appreciate it. So I don't want to complain. I don't want to ever come off as me complaining, because it's this, even having 1,000 is a huge milestone for me. Because when I started my channel, I don't know if you saw my first videos, but it was just like a tutorial video. I didn't show my face. I was editing that video for like hours and hours and hours and hours, only to have maybe like 1 or 2 people watch it. And yeah, I mean, it's very easy to always compare. Like I said, it's easy to compare yourself to other people, but um, everyone, yeah, like I said, everyone has their own journey. So I'm not too, yeah, I try not to dwell too much about it. And I'm very blessed to be in a position where I am. Like I'm working full time. I have a full time at Amazon nonetheless. And this is not me like bragging. It's just I'm just kind of I'm just stating what position I'm in. So and I have the energy to make YouTube content. So and if I personally, you know, like a lot of times, sorry, it feels like I'm like kind of ranting, but originally I made the channel because I was afraid to talk in front of a camera. Um, Now I want to make the channel because I have this kind of desire to help people. And people have like suggested to make videos like day in the life and whatnot. But to me, I don't think that's as valuable to people watching my content at the moment. Like, first of all, I'm working remote, so literally the day in the life would just be me getting up, brushing my teeth, making coffee, and then come back to my desk and work for 8 hours. Maybe I'll make it when I actually do go into the office, but a lot of my content, yeah, it may be a little dry, but what I'm trying to do is actually provide like tangible things that you can do. And one of my videos that didn't do as well, but I think it's so valuable, is that I have this video called like 2100 plus recruiters that you can that are available on LinkedIn. So what's cool about that is that you can it's like this master list of recruiters, and you know, a lot of developers say, oh, go contact recruiters, or YouTubers say, go contact recruiters and let them know that you're interested in a job, build relationships, but no one tells you actually how to do it. There's nothing clear about, oh, like, how do I even find recruiters? But I made a video to kind of try to emphasize like, hey, here's a master list, here's a resource you can use. Unfortunately, maybe my channel isn't big yet to be able to kind of have that information stick, but it is what it is. I'll keep making content that I think is important, and hopefully if at least one or two people find value in it, then that's good for me. So yeah, dude, let's stream. I really enjoyed the Clubhouse one that we did, but definitely let's do a future live stream together. I actually have my Ethernet cord plugged in now, so no more disconnects. Hey, how about we get to 100K together? It's a good goal to have. To the moon. Like crypto. Should I make crypto videos? Is that how my channel will blow up? No, I'm kidding. I could make like a how to make your own NFT video or something. Thank you. What is your favorite coffee-based drink? I'm a pretty simple guy. It's either iced coffee or coffee just black. So I drink hot coffee in the morning, and then I drink an iced coffee in the afternoon. I don't know but it's weird. I always get the same thing in the iced coffee. If I go to Starbucks, it's medium iced coffee, unsweetened with soy milk. And I don't know. Now it's just like a habit. I can't drink anything else. To the moon, TRY coin. You're giving me some good ideas, man. I'd be curious. I mean, I usually I'm the one giving advice, but if someone asks you guys or girls that are in this channel, like, hey, I want to get into software development, what kind of recommendations would you give them? Would you say don't do it? Would you say, or would you kind of do like the whole like you should try it out for free and the whatnot? All right, seriously, 10 more minutes and I'm out, I swear. This is so fun though. I'm having a really good time. Understand why you want to do software development. Beyond that, it pays good money. Yes, that's a great one. That's a really good one. I'm a huge believer in this one because I don't know. I was mentioning this somewhere, but a lot of coding. I keep referring to coding boot camps because that's kind of what I know. But a lot of coding boot camps, they try to advertise this notion that, oh, you know, you can make $100,000 after graduating with us, and it's not even about the technology or what you're gonna do for a living. It just talks about the money first. And when I joined the coding boot camp, I honestly didn't really think about the money at all. And I don't know I don't know why that never registered in my head. Like, oh wow, like software developers can make this much, or software developers can make that much. I was literally just so miserable at my last job that encoding for 1 hour versus working for 12 hours. It just like that 1 hour made me so much happier that I knew that this is what I wanted to do. And maybe not everyone's gonna have that aha moment, but literally money was not the thing I was thinking about at all. And I want to make a video about this eventually, but before my first ever official like full-time job, I worked at an internship at Major League Gaming, and I didn't want to really work there. To be honest, I mean, I wanted to work there, but they were paying me like garbage money. Like they were paying me like $12.50 or $15 an hour, and like I didn't pay $12,000 and give up my full-time salary to make $12.50 or $15 an hour. Obviously, this was just more of an investment, but that time it was so miserable. But like, if I really thought about money first, I probably wouldn't have taken that position, because to me, I was just like, oh wow, this could be a great learning experience. I'm really into gaming and whatnot. But luckily that situation passed after a month, and I found a full-time job. But yeah, I just think this notion of like, oh, you'll make 100K plus, you should be a software developer, is like a bad reason to be a software developer. You have to actually enjoy first. I think if you thoroughly enjoy being a software developer, the money will naturally come, because you're just naturally going to get better at what you do. So, my 2 cents. Yeah, I agree with that too. There's just so many more free options now that it's really hard to not try it out first, right? For me, I think back in 2015, it was like literally just YouTube and the guy named New Boston. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but literally he was like the Brad Traversy of coding at that time. Yeah, I probably won't be, but hey, man, always good to have you on. Yeah. I don't know if I could code for free unless it's my own thing. But I do get your sentiment, yeah. I think it's one of those positions where it is actually really hard as you level up, because you're expected to do a lot more, so the pay is justified. But like in the beginning, it's not that important. You know, it's crazy. Like you don't see those kind of job titles anymore on LinkedIn or anywhere. If you guys are not in my Discord channel, feel free to join. My favorite project. It's probably, I mean, it's kind of 2020/2021, but I really like Svelte. It's another front end framework. Or what do you mean project? I mean, like I'm thinking about like coding project, but maybe, yeah, there's like some cool blockchain stuff, but I'm not as interested in blockchain/crypto as much as I used to be. I do still like it and I enjoy it, but it's not as I'm more focusing on my own stuff, like the Tech Rally brand and my goal of helping aspiring developers break into tech. So a lot of my stuff is related to like content creation and whatnot. Like one that you worked on. Yeah, lately I haven't been really working on as many side projects like app development because of the Tech Rally stuff. So it's more content creation and trying to potentially see what I can get out of building this brand. So I've been more focusing on like the business side and maybe just, I guess you could call it marketing or whatever you want to call it. But I've been doing a lot of research on trying to understand what struggles junior developers go through or aspiring developers go through when trying to break into tech. So it's not, yeah, I haven't been really coding outside of work as much. That probably didn't really answer the original, that probably wasn't the answer you thought I was going to say, but it really is true. It's more, I've been doing a lot of like research these days, research and development, I guess. All right, no more candy. I'm not sure. I mean, I noticed that more people around me use Apple products, but I'm not sure what the actual statistic is. All right, everyone. I must finally cut this stream out. Getting a little tired now, and I could use a little break before I head to sleep. So, yeah, thanks for coming on the stream and having these conversations with me. I'll try to do this more often. I do have a video coming out tomorrow, and since you guys are here, it's gonna be, what did I call it? Let me see if I can find it really quick. And this is probably just an exclusive look ahead for y'all. Let's see if my computer will load. There it is. All right, let me share my screen, stop screen share, and then share screen, application, your entire screen. This one. Yeah. So it's actually going to be finding jobs on Clubhouse. It's coming out tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, I really like, as you can probably already tell, I'm a fan of Clubhouse. And to me, what Clubhouse is good for is talking to recruiters. And crazy enough, I've seen some people land get jobs through Clubhouse. So I think this is something that is really cool to talk about. And yeah, it might not be for everyone, but you know, if you are like kind of struggling to find a job in tech or whatever, and you have a hard time even like getting a recruiter to respond to you, why not try something a little bit different than your typical like applying through Simply Hired or Indeed. So yeah, this is gonna be my video that I'm posting out tomorrow. So hopefully you guys can watch it and enjoy it. And yeah, that's it for me. And cool. Yep. Thank you. And yeah, Kelvin, I'll see you later. It was good talking to you. Yep, it was super dope. Yeah, hologram nunchuck. Thanks for staying on this late. And Just Dog. Yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.